Hi everybody, it's your brain coach Jim Kwik of Kwik Learning, and I'm here as always to help you to what? To learn quickly. Checking in with you right now, and where and how are you? Those are my two questions for you. Where and how are you? How are you and where are you in the world? Wherever you are in the world, I hope you are safe, that you are strong, and that you're sane. I'm launching a new podcast today. I believe it goes out on how to change your limiting beliefs. This is an important one. I believe all behavior is belief driven. So new podcast coming out on how to change your negative thinking, your negative self-identity, and your negative self-talk. So that's coming out. Sleepy in Scotland, Nigeria, Dubai. I was supposed to be in Dubai actually right now. Morocco, Netherlands, Brazil, New Zealand. I'm experiencing mixed emotions lately. Love you, brother. Brazil. So how are you doing? Where are you? Just got your book, Limitless. Thank you. I appreciate all the reviews. 1,200 5-star reviews on Amazon. 3,400 5-star reviews on iTunes for our podcast. Thank you. The name of podcast is called Kwik Brain. You can just search my name, Jim Kwik, in your podcast app. Colombia, Australia, Sydney. I'm in Australia twice a year. Would have gone again in September. But I'm glad to connect with you virtually. Now it's great because classrooms aren't, they're not limited to 4 walls. Did I get your t-shirt? Let me check on that. Find it difficult to think of life goals or dreams, for example. Is there anything to do? Yes. So I think that you've heard me say this before, but I feel like a lot of people who say they're tired or burnt out, it's not because you're doing too much. It's because you're doing too little of the things that really light you up, the things that really make a difference in your life. I spent a lot of time talking to seniors, FaceTiming seniors. I lost my grandmother to Alzheimer's. That's why we donated so much to Alzheimer's research of the book. Also, we did raise the $50,000. Congratulations to Pencils of Promise. So we're sending them the funds this week for that. It builds a whole school, and not only a school, entire school for that community. Of young girls and boys who don't have access to any education. It also provides healthcare, clean water, and so much more. But talking about that, when you're in that stage of life, the truth is nobody's opinions or your fears are going to matter. What's going to matter is how you laughed. What's going to matter is how you lived, how you learned, how you loved. And I would come from that place. The most important thing, remember this, guys, the most important thing is to keep the most important things the most important things, right? The most important things is to keep the most important things the most important things. So, sorry to hear about your grandma. Thank you. Well, I'll put you on a path, right? You take your mess and you make it your message. My inspiration really was my desperation. So I am going to be recording new podcasts, created a brand new studio, so I'm excited about recording for you. We are also, I want to ask you about students. How many of you are students or have children that are students? What are you thinking about education right now? What's going on with schools? We're very fortunate. Limitless was one of the most gifted books to students. So I'm really, very appreciative of that. Basically a reminder to anybody that you have agency, that remind you how strong you are, that you've survived everything up to this point, and you will this also as well. Canadian student right here. I am a student. Maria, thanks for joining us. I'm thinking about in September, I've never done this, but I'm thinking about offering twice a week tutoring, group tutoring, maybe like on a Tuesday and Thursday, and live with me for all students. We'll do 2 tracks, 10 to 13, 14 to 18, to fill in the gaps, to help children learn better online if they're forced to learn online, to teach them the most important skill, which is learning how to learn. learning how to focus, learning how to study, even under difficult environments, learning how to speed read and learning how to improve their memory. I think it's one of the most important skills. So I'm thinking about launching that to be extra supportive. It wouldn't replace school, but I don't want what's going on with school, this whole situation, to get in the way of your education. And so it'll be very applicable for any age or stage, and making it just available, like Tuesdays and Thursdays every single week. If we did charge something, it would be nominal for the month, less than an hour of tutoring from a high school student, kind of nominal. So if for you parents out there or you students who are looking for extra help, I would teach a lesson every week and then answer your burning questions later in the week, kind of like office hours with Jim, for students specifically. And obviously, books. What books am I reading? God, I'm reading so many books right now. Let me show you. This is and most of you know this is a constant reminder. This is actually the photograph frame that I got. If you read Limitless and the cast photo of my school, Hugh Jackman, Jennifer Lawrence, Holly Berry, Patrick Stewart, this was the famous one I wrote about that said, the note in there said, Jim, I know you've been looking for your superhero school since you were a kid. Here's your class photo. So I want to recreate this for kids, give them their superpowers. And what I'm reading right now is I read. Like when I read, I really read. So remember, I don't know if you've heard this story about, this is another school that we helped build. This is back in 2009. If you read this thing that I talked about, where it's, and I actually meant to film. This is actually a good room to film in. I've never filmed in this room before, but this is, I have a lot of books, but I'm thinking about leaders or readers and just tapping into this. Maybe like QuickBook summaries where I read the book and I give you my summary of it. That might be something interesting also as well. But if you know my story and how I went into this, I was ready to quit school because I couldn't learn as well as everybody else. And I went to get some perspective because I didn't know how to tell my parents, my folks, that I was going to quit school. And I went to visit a friend, and his father walked me around his property and said, how's school? And I broke down and I was like, I'm so, challenges in school and And he was like, don't let school get in the way of your education. And then he says, you're this close to everything on that list. And he put his fingers to the opposite side of my head. And he takes me into a room of his home that's just full of books and a library. And the younger version of me, and it's interesting because I have this quote here. It's backwards, but chapter 1, always be learning. But my, it's crazy here. But my thing here is I used to be afraid of books, and my teachers would have been surprised if I read a book, much less wrote a book. And so maybe we'll think about doing that student program and make that available for people. Look at all those. So I can see it all. Yeah, I got a little choppy with holding the camera. Clearly, I don't do a lot of these selfies. But I'm going to be recording more podcasts. So my goal is, if you saw my last post, we get videos every single week of joy stories, which is really the highlight of our team, for it to be able to see the stories and people being transformed by our programs, our podcasts, our courses. And so if you haven't watched my last post, I do it more to celebrate all of you on this journey that I know it's inside of you, that after doing this for 3 decades, genius leaves clues, and there's always a method behind what looks like magic. And regardless of what you're going through in life, that I believe in you and others do too, and that you inspire people with your grit and your grace. And I would remind you that there's a reason why when you look at a tree and there's a bird in that tree, why it's so calm and confident, even being a high up. It's not because it puts its trust in a tree branch, but because it puts its trust in its own wings. So I would remind you to get to know yourself, trust yourself, love yourself, and most importantly, be yourself. And that would be the goal. So new podcast coming out today on how to get rid of and reduce negative thinking, negative self-talk, those negative beliefs that hold you back. So it keeps on pausing, so I gotta plug it in. But I wanted to say that I wish your day, wherever you are right now, that when you sleep, that you have knowing that you have peace of mind, that you're gonna get deep rest, and knowing that you can handle anything that's coming up for you over the next few days, and to believe in yourself. And I have, want to believe in yourself, listen to our new podcast on that, because I have interviewing somebody, a dear friend, she is remarkable on this subject, and I have recorded more podcasts, and I wish your days be full, lots of light, lots of love, lots of laughter, and always lots of learning. Use it. Use your brain. Take care.